Game number 1 on Midgard starting, GLHF. So let's see if it will be at least a bit longer than the less than 50 minutes. I think that it was in the playoffs between DoD and LUTs. That was a pretty straightforward game for the DoDs. And let's see if DoD will follow in their footsteps. So the first to have a look at is yellow. That's PokerStar from DoD. And yeah, this is the feature of this fixed Midgard, that you have more berries than you usually have at the standard, where it varies between 2, 3 and sometimes more. Now you have at least 5 and usually more, right now 6. So at the same time, PokerStar sees Hunt. It's kind of unusual, but very good for him. Otherwise the map is kind of okay. He has a lot of wood around him for proper start on the water, so let's see how is his fishing position. Right now he's kinda not in the corner. He probably wants to go a bit south so that he has a much better access to the corner of the map. And he found the corner, and that's where his dog will go. But so far he doesn't see any fish and he's still looking for it. So that's a lot of downtime. And possibly like half a minute before he starts fishing. The next dot we have a look at is briefcase. Right now he doesn't have the luck of the extra hurt like his teammate, so he is gathering from the berries, and his fishing spot so far doesn't seem to be all that great, but he has a look at the corners, so could have a lot of fish there. But so far he just sees this threesome here and nothing else, so a bit of an empty water here. Moving on to the last dot, who is Schulte on the right side of PokerStar, who is playing pocket. He is not gathering right now from the berries, so he is playing kind of standard restart. He was gathering from the cow, and right now he is moving there though. Now he is looking his water. 1 spot and 3 spot here, close to the dock, so that's pretty sweet for him. Finds another cow, that's going to help him, and well, position pretty good. Moving on to the PK, 7 up is gathering from the berries as well, which is kind of okay. And behind, he has a herd of caribous here if he wants, but so far he's gathering just the wood here, as he needs it for the fish and chips. The only one that is here is gathering from the 1 spot, otherwise it's, oh man, it's kind of the mirror situation with briefcase, also having quite few of them, just the 1 spots here. He better has to hope that something better is here, and right now we will see if there is something here. Ah, yeah, it is 3 spots, so better than nothing, I guess. Pocket for a PK is Isipol, gathering a lot from the berries, and using his ox cart actually to gather both from the berries and gather wood. So that's pretty sweet for him, as he saves the extra resources for the ox cart. But still, he builds another one. Not really sure if it's needed right now, so could have saved a bit for extra fishing chip, but maybe he doesn't need to. He builds already a second dock, so he is probably aiming to make a real use. It's a pretty sweet spot, so no wonder that he's going for it. And at his home spot, that's kind of okay. He's also in the corner, having quite some decent fishing spots here together with his teammate Green. Even though he has a long way to travel, it's still pretty decent for Midgard. Green's position at the same time is probably one of the best in the game, having this one close to his home, this one as well. But it's getting worse, so he is forced to build another dock, and he has to hope something is there, otherwise it's kinda useless. As for his home position, yeah, kinda okay, empowering his wheelies on the foot, so pretty much okay. You can see that briefcase is scouting all around him, once, second, third one, so he's definitely eager to do some early damage possibly. So is he maybe advancing? Well, he has temple up, but not really clicking just yet, so right now, so it will be pretty much spot on 5-minute advance. As for his teammates, PokerStar not advancing yet, just building dock. Schulte is not building an extra wheelie, so probably waiting just for the tempo to click in, and that's just happening with his Forcete and moving on to 7 up. Well, he will be very soon into classical age, 70%, so below 5 minutes, so he'll be definitely looking for some early raiding. At the same time, Icy Pole is biding his time, just now clicking in, so that's like 5:30. Not bad, considering the other advanced times, but how is it looking here? Bit of idlers from Sanji, that could cost him this early in the game, but at the same time, is Briefcase going to valor those guys? Well, he's not really gathering them all together, so I'm not really sure right now, but I guess we'll see soon enough. 10% through bust, and how is it looking with Blue's Oracles? These are just guys for scouting, and Oracles are between the opponents, placed in a strategical position to see basically when help is arriving, I guess, so that's pretty decent when you plan raiding. And his military buildings are cropping up in his base, so he's not very adventurous and hopes to do something by himself, I guess. So Murmilos and, well, Durmas, yep, coming in as well. On the water, is he building some militaries? Yeah. These are the first military ships, just from one dock it seems right now. And the first one already was actually making fight at Shalti's base, who is going for the water very heavily. And so far it seems he's going for it much harder than Blue actually is. And at the north you can see that Red is also going for it, but Green is trying to make a very nice defensible position. 3 docks firing at ships, that's very tough to deal with, and very nice spot to fall back to, even though Green is obviously kinda late and just now starting his military production. But with all this extra fire, it doesn't really matter right now. First raid in here is going on from 7up, who has caught some heresies from Shelty, who is trying to do the same right now. So that's kinda evenish, and once Shelty gets a bit more army, I guess he will be ready to start some spawning of some mythical units. At the same time, Purple is trying to raid into middle red. Rather, it's not middle, it's the left of dots. And, well, right now reinforcements arriving, so he should maybe turn it around. And these two guys, not really sure where are they going, but still, these four, with a bit of lucky spawn, could do some damage, but the spawn is not coming so far, and the battle is kinda lost. At the north, Purple is not really building any military on the water, so he was hoping possibly that the green will take care of everything, but so far he's kinda having all kinds of trouble with that. Even though he has a lot of ships here, so I'm not exactly sure why he isn't catching after those. But once he does, and you can see on the minimap that he has much more of these ships than Red has, well, it should be kinda in Green's power pretty easily. At the south though, the battle is pretty big and important right now, because Dodge Shelty is having to fight Blue here. This shockwave is very nice and helps Blue very nicely. But Yellow is joining the fight here at the bottom, which means that Blue will have to retreat, because he can't really fight against a double. And if Yellow and Teal continue with that, then I'm afraid that Purple will somehow have to do literally anything. You can see right now that he is actually housed, trying to build some more fishing ships, but not much going on though. But in his base there is a lot of things going on, and that's Briefcase's raid right into his gold billies, so that's a pretty sweet one. But right now he's forced to retreat, and well, Pokestar is through as an ISIS, and where is the Migdal going? Right next to his gold to protect it, so that's good position that he doesn't have to go too far away from his base, making it pretty safe, and as a pocket he will have pretty decent play there. These are some other colored dots here, just some priest and sphinx successfully raiding Willy here from red, possibly when he was raiding him, the green himself. He kind of forgot what to do, and this is a pretty decent raid from the red, because right now green is having all kinds of trouble to keep his fish in production, I guess, so he wanted to go for some extra food from herds, but he was denied. But he's not really having trouble here. So soon he shouldn't be having too much worries about not getting in from the land. As he is owning the water against Red, who is not right now building any ships. So he's probably concentrating just on the land trading. As you can see, players are taking second TCs. Isis from Dots, the yellow one, has already taken second. Green is taking second as well. And same goes for Red right now. This was an attempt at trading, but at the same time there's a very decent trade at the bottom from Blue, at Gold Willies from Shelty. That's a very good one, because there's no army anywhere near. And if he can get at least a few shots more at this guy, or literally anyone, that would be a pretty decent job. You can see that 7 up is really meaning business on Teal. Army waiting just at the doorstep, at the same time taking a second DC at his base. And there's some shockwave here. Ah, okay, so that's some food wheelies possibly that remain in here. And basically thanks just to the shockwave, Red was able to deal substantial damage to Purple's economy. That might hurt him in the long run. But you can see that Purple is already advancing into Bragi. And at the same time he just interrupted Briefcase's second TC, or rather third. He is building second at the back, but third is not going to be up, and Icipole might use the advantage to actually steal it, because right now he is having the upper hand, and he advanced, and Briefcase is not anywhere close to advancing right now. And well, successful raid at the Red Willies right there. Red is still not really interested in his base, probably hoping that his towers or TCs are going to deal with this problem, and that leaves this guy with all kinds of raiding abilities. But right now Icipole believes he has enough army in Red's base that he can call flaming weapons. But as you can see, Red is running away, so right now it will be probably better for Purple to turn around and try to take down the TC. Not really sure what he's going for right now. Probably for the TC that's being built, and yes, he should be able to disrupt it if he starts dealing damage right now, which he does. And we see some nice attack from Yellow that is in Heroic right into Blue's base together with Ancestors, and that's a lot of elephants here. So that's kinda decent damage against buildings. So if Blue doesn't have granulations, which I think he doesn't have, yeah, he doesn't. This could be a pretty tough deal for Blue right now. He is house, as you can see, so he can't really build anything extra. And those allies are very strong. And right now he's trying to make sure that his enemy can't make any more units before he goes for a TC. Just now he goes for it. And yep, you can see that the weak at the buildings are really seriously weak. And even though PK with Sanji could help him, his teammate with Ancestors right now, he cannot, because the Eclipse is still there from Yellow. So that means that Blue is out of TC. Yeah, this upgrade for better buildings won't be going there. And that's a successful attack from Yellow, and very important setback from 7 up. Looking at the water, well, and second Ancestors are going on where right now? That's to protect the Migdol being built, because Red was there just now, and well, yeah, that's what Isis does when he is in trouble. He calls the Ancestors, and his base plan is safe. Shelty is through Bragi right now, and well, you can see that Yellow's army has been killed altogether, but still not before the damage has been done. And on the water, Yellow and Teal are battling against Green, and it seems successfully. And you can see that Blue, even though he really doesn't have a chance against a double, he's still safely fishing there. Same goes for Purple and Green. So the water is kinda not really all that much battle there, just a lot of pop eaten for PokerStar, so he should be doing something with it, and he is. At the same time, purple with blue are going into offensive against Shelty, who is at 3 TCs, so he should be having a decent army, and he is. And once he gets that into battle and starts spawning some units together with flaming weapons, yep, he should be able to repel this kinda easily. Still, some of his willies paid with their lives, because he didn't call them off soon enough before the armies arrived there, and yellow is helping his teammate, so the flaming weapons won't even be needed right here. Now this is not a good matchup against Turmas, as you can see, but yeah, dots have to retreat. And we can check at this point how's the battle looking at the left side, where Visanji has amassed a bit of an army. It's not really anything huge, but still it should be enough, because Red has primarily Turmas, which are not really great against Elise and Siege Towers, as you can see. And unless he starts building a lot of Murmilos, or Catapulties at least, he might be facing a bit of a trouble here. Ancestors for green are gone, so the push won't be as strong as yellow's, but still, his army composition should be kinda okay against Briefcase. And TCs are even. This TC is... oh, it has received some damage from some previous fights, so if green is able to amass enough army, which he could once he steals this TC, that's going to set Briefcase back a lot, he'll be in a pretty good position to apply even more pressure. Well, yellow was trying to take third as well, but was just discovered by Isipol, so that won't be as easy as he would have hoped. For some time he wasn't aware, and that's a pretty sweet spawn for Valkyrie on Willy Raiden. That's not really not much better units he could have hoped for to spam. His teammate Teal, well, he is having an army at all kinds of places, trying to take that TC with ball riding, but that's not really a sweet spot for him because of all those Hersiers. And, well, he is still in third from 7 up though. That's a pretty sweet play, because that evens up the TCs. As green stole this red ones, Teal stole blue ones, so that's 1-1. And this bit of army, well, did it cost some willies for yellow? I don't really think so. I don't see any dead guys here, so probably not. And these Turmas are not going to do a whole lot of damage, but they are going to take from the TC. Purple though is right on with the battle and doing substantial damage to the TC that is just being researched into fortified, but if all goes well for him, he will take it down, which he will, and this research won't come up this soon. So TC gone, and is this a good spot for the battle? I don't really think so, and purple should retreat. And yes, that's what he's doing. 7 up is at the same time trying to secure this TC, which is not really working, because Steel just joined the battle. What? Joined the battle. With a lot of army. And he's doing pretty decently against purple. How are his upgrades? Nothing. And how's it looking for purple? Also nothing. So they are equal, and it's just decided by the sheer numbers here, going in favor of Teal. Well, 7 up hoping that he can actually take this TC by looking at the armies here. Well, yeah. Right now that he arrived with his own army, it's actually not going that great for Teal. And, well, he will have to he can use some help. At the same time, you can see that green is applying some nice building spam. Migdol's right into red's base, and he's doing pretty well. Well, he's 3 TCs against 2, he's Egi, and he's battling largely against Turmas and a bit of infantry here, so it's not really all that great. And Elise, that have a pretty short time to go to the TC, are slowly taking it. Here's a bit of raiding from Teal on some villies, but there is nothing to be found here. Yeah, absolutely nothing. So it seems they will be killed sooner rather than later, when he stops microing them. But underwater, yellow has finally put blue, and right now is working on purple as well, out of the water. So that's more or less water in Dot's power, which should help them in the overall echo, of course. The most significant fighting right now is going on in Red's base. That's probably going to be game deciding, because if PokerStar, who is right now at 40 Cs, well, that's important to say, he should be deciding the game. So what's right now Yellow going to do? I'm looking if he isn't advancing into Mythic right now, because he's at 40 Cs, but yeah, here it is, 30% into Thought, so he is definitely hoping to do something about this front from his Sanji. And I think once he advances into Mythic, Meteors will go right there to take this down, because this is a real threat. You can see that Icipole is recognizing that Yellow is keen to help his teammate and is joining the battle at the left side. And right at the same time, Briefcase has switched his army from Turmas to Arcusis and is able to push through his opponent right now. So, not a good army composition right now, and he is finally green switching as well into Axeman. But he has absolutely zero upgrades, and at the same time Red has upgrades, so he is having much better time actually fighting. So that's just some signaling from his teammates. There's a lot of purple idling army, yep. And what is Steel right now doing? He is preparing his army here, waiting for the right time to actually go into his opponents. He may be advancing into Mythic somewhere. No, not yet. And right now we see Dot. And yep, just where we expected it, there goes the DC and the Meteors. It would be quite beneficial if we could take down at least one of those Migdals together. But a lot of the damage was spent on the DC, that was heavily fortified, and haha, Nidhogg, where he was played. Here he was, and that's why Shelty just now calling flaming weapons, and together with the Boars, he has a pretty sweet army right now, and very strong with the Nidhogg against the Nati. Well, good luck 7-Up. You will be 1 TC down most assuredly, and there's going to be a lot of damage from Teal. We just have to see if he will opt to destroy some of the military buildings, or if he will just go and proceed into another TC. Right now the Nidhogg is a huge problem, and if he microed properly, he could just make blue run around without doing any damage at all. Well, this is probably going to go like this for a bit of quite some time. So let's switch to the left side of the battlefield. How is it looking? Just at the right time when we see Icipole going for some raiding with Boars, but they are under heavy fire and they are like half dead, so they are going to be falling quite soon. But still, before they do, they should be able to take down at least this TC very easily, as nobody is really after them. Well, nobody seems to be paying attention, which is because Dots are actually pushing through here, and that's PokerStar together with Briefcase, trying to make life very difficult for Sanji, who is right now at 2 TCs. And this front from Briefcase should be reclaimable for Dots right now, and it will be pretty much the best option, I think, for PokerStars to take the 50C, because right now he's having a very good echo, it seems, and well, if he could pump mercenaries from here, he could help him quite immensely. At the same time, what's going on at the right side? Well, Teal has stolen this DC, so he's right now at 4, which will make life very difficult for 7-Up. Looking at the extra TC fire, and it's actually a disruption for Green Trade Route, who was going here and had to switch to this TC, which means he'll be gathering a lot less right now. Teal still having a pretty decent army, together with those fire giants. Well, that's very tough to deal with for 7-Up, because obviously His range units are not really all that great heroes, even if upgraded, and right now he has 0 of those. So that's a pretty tough battle for him right there. At the north, well, right now, when green is employing mercenaries, it seems to be kinda evenish, even though yellow is seemingly pushing through. It's kinda not that much, because there's still a lot of green, and purple is doing quite decently as well. But he is kinda spread out, because he needs to defend himself, and at the same time protect his teammate, and that's a very tough job. So right now he's at 3 TCs, and he has to defend against 2 and 4 at the same time, with little help from 7-Up, because he's hammered very badly, and PokerStar is eating into him as well, trying to secure this gold. And once the Migdol is up, it will probably mean some Elise or Chariots to help his steel teammate. And yep, this is the point where PKs recognize that the game is beyond their power, and 7-Up resigns as the first, followed by Asipol and Visanji. Well, this was a pretty interesting game. For a moment it looked like on the left Visanji could actually push through and kill a briefcase, but then the power of PokerStar's Isis showed its teeth, and especially Shelty's attack was pretty brutal. He just waited for it, amassed army, went for the Nidhogg, and once he was mythic, he just stormed with flaming weapons against his opponent, and that was it. So GG, and let's look at the post game. Pretty sweet echo from PokerStar, as you would expect, and with Sanjay, yeah, those two Aegis. That's kinda okay. Otherwise, military count from Visanji, unit skill, best from Briefcase. Yeah, because you went the most defending, so that's kinda expected. And well, 559 advance, but it paid out in the end in the fast heroic, of course.